Oh boy! Welcome everybody to the Virtual Velosano Stream Kickoff Party presented by AdCom. I'm Mike Polk Jr. What a weird time, right, Maureen Kyle, my co-host?
It is. It is a strange time. It's weird to not be right next to you or actually like in a park where we usually have a huge crowd and you can feel the energy. But you know what? This is great too, and we're going to show you why.
We are. We absolutely are. And I'm excited to do this with you. I miss you like the Dickens. We work together at Channel 3, one of the sponsors, 3 News, one of the sponsors of this important event and charity. And usually I get to hang out with you in person. Unfortunately, not right now. Did something just, did a giant bird just take off behind you?
It was a piece of paper.
Oh, that's all right. We'll let that happen. But this is my
this
first...
This is what happens on Zoom, right?
Yeah, totally. Your yard looks gorgeous, by the way. And that pool...
Thank you.
Somebody's doing all right. Well, I am excited because this is my first time participating, actually, in Velosano. This is not your first time. And why don't you tell me about... let's make this all about us at the top of the show, rather than the cause of the evening. And just tell me about your time, your experience. What am I in store for?
Let's talk about me. No, you are in store for hearing really inspiring stories. And really that's what keeps me coming back to Velosano.
How many years? I'm sorry. How many years have you done it?
6, I believe. I mean, it's been since 2014.
6 years,
right?
everybody. 6 years, everybody. 6 years.
Well,
they're clapping. You can't hear
I've taken part in different ways. Some of those years I couldn't be on a bike because I was pregnant. But every year I do the stories, and that's what this is about. Everybody who's watching, everybody who is pretty much in Northeast Ohio has been touched by cancer in some way, shape, or form. Everybody knows somebody. Everybody has a loved one, and this is the event that helps make sure that we keep our loved ones healthy and we find a cure.
Well, that is beautiful, and it's nice. Thank you for your support. I'm not bummed out that you took those years off to have babies. That's fine. We all make sacrifices. But this is my first experience. I'm just going to tell you real quickly about how I got involved. I just started working at 3 News about last year, and an email went out that said, "Hey, who wants to be a part of this event, this charity event, this bike ride charity event?" And I was not familiar with it, I'll admit that. But I wanted to essentially show that I wasn't a jerk because I just got the job there. So I was just trying to like, hey, look who's an all right guy. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to send that message. And I was willing to look past the exercise for that, but I did. So I signed up for it, and everybody's like, that's nice. And then we got the email that said, hey, it's not happening because of I don't know if everybody's tuned into this, but there's pandemics. That's why we're not doing the actual bike ride. Yeah. And so then they were like, my boss was like, hey, we're not doing the actual bike ride. Do you want to co-host the virtual bike ride fundraiser? And I'm like, wow, what does that mean? Because I didn't know what this would involve. And they've really put a nice little thing together for this, haven't they?
This really is, it's, we all miss being together. We all miss the fun party with the beer tents and everything else, the food, which is always amazing. But I'm glad that they brought you on to be the comic relief. And I think they just wanted to meet me here to make sure that we don't get too funny.
I'm not insulted by that. I'm not insulted by that. I'm not. That's
fine. It was
fine.
Kind of a backhanded insult to me.
I totally understand that. So now I'm in this. It sounds like I missed a really good time in the past with all the beer and the fun and the outside. My first year is this. But that's not a big deal. Let's not nitpick over it. And it is actually inspiring to see how many from the Velosano community have actually come out together to participate in many different ways this year because they can't all ride bikes. To still find ways to continue fundraising for cancer research at the Cleveland Clinic. I guess I should have mentioned that within the first 10 minutes.
Right.
This is all about... They know why they're here, right? Like nobody stumbled onto this accidentally. Yeah. Wow, that many?
2,800 people participating this year, which is fantastic. And then if you're just learning about this and you're just tuning in and you're thinking, well, oh shoot, I missed my window to get involved. October 1st, you have until October 1st to decide what it is that you want to do. And the beauty of this year, Mike was kind of talking about it, you can do whatever you want to fundraise. So you can rollerblade, like we have some rollerbladers. We have the cross stitchers that you interviewed.
They're great.
Mike, I think you could even see if hosting this event might count towards your exercise hours.
I'm using it towards some community service hours that I still owe, actually. I already cleared that. So that's exciting. Not that I wouldn't be here anyways. So you're right, though. It's not just cyclists this year. People are still doing that, but we got dog walkers. We got bakers. We got people who found different ways to get engaged, get involved, and raise money for this very, very important thing. And tonight we're going to take a look at some of those stories. We're going to meet some of those people who are doing some cool, weird stuff this year and adjusting and adapting, as we are so often forced to do right now. And everybody's knocking it out of the park, and I would expect nothing less from this group. But first, before we actually get into that and we start meeting people, I'm glad to be here with you, Maureen. I'm thrilled. I'm glad that you guys are joining us at home, everybody who's watching and whatnot on all of the platforms, the tiki-taki and whatever the kids are using these days. However you're watching, we're thrilled to have you. But before we actually get into it, we've got to start this off the right way. Now, normally, from what I understand, again, I didn't get to go to the fun ones where you get to be around people. But from what I understand, normally, typically, this would start, the actual bike ride and the launch would start, or at least like hanging out at the party, on Mall B in downtown Cleveland, from what I understand. Yeah. And normally, you guys would do like a few adult beverages and a cheers.
Just a few.
And
yep.
Seems appropriate. I mean, all things considered, that we should just do this now. Here we go. Oh, look at all these angles you guys have. They're showing off over here. Oh boy, what do we have here? Looks like it's a delicious Mick Ultra, who just happens to be a very important, where is it? Oh, the math I have to do. The very important sponsor and appreciated sponsor of the show. What do you have over there? Are you going to do a toast with us?
I am going to do a toast. I filled this all the way up. My Cleveland Clinic water bottle.
And that is so full of Mick Ultra.
If it is, we're in trouble. It's
wow, good. All right, so I'll be hosting alone in about 15 minutes. I could drink 6,000 of these. They're delicious, don't get me wrong. I'm just a pro. Okay, so I'm looking forward to this. This is a refreshing drink. Will you do the cheers? You do the cheers?
I'll do the cheers with you.
Okay,
yes.
Here we go.
Absolutely.
All right. I toast my Mick Ultra to you and to all of you. Welcome to Virtual Velosano.
Welcome, everybody. We're going to have fun, obviously.
We are going to have fun. And that seems like a perfect time to bring in our very special guest. He's been the starting line DJ for Velosano for the last 6 years, and he's with us now. He's going to be spinning tunes all night in the Michelob Ultra. Coincidence? DJ booth. Please welcome DJ Brad Petty.
Velosano. Velosano. Velosano.
Feel like there's just something about you. I gotta talk to you about it. I've been searching, think I found you. Yes, I'm talking about you.
Velosano.
And you clone my hip, you like it. Your music is our souls unite.
And one of the reasons why we said that this is so important for you to tune in and learn more about Velosano is we are going to be talking to the people who can explain it the best. And first we have Dr. Brian Bulwell. He is the chair of the Taussig Cancer Institute. Thanks so much for being with us here at the virtual party.
Hey, Maureen, how are you? Thanks for doing this, and thanks to Channel 3.
Yeah, our pleasure, really. So this year is a little different, as we've been saying. What was that decision like when you had to face reality and say, okay, this is going virtual this year?
Well, first off, this is our 7th year, so I know you guys were talking about 6, but we're actually very proud that this is our 7th year. When the pandemic started, we were immediately concerned because of the people who participate in this event. There's a lot of people who are actually undergoing cancer therapy and who are immunocompromised, and they're at particular risk for getting any kind of infection, but certainly this particular infection is bad. It's very serious, and in the name of safety, we thought that we really didn't have much of a choice. It was a reluctant decision because the event is such a wonderful event. It's a very emotional event, but we felt it was the right thing to do.
Absolutely. Now, you also participate in picking the researchers, and we've been talking about how the money goes 100% toward research, treatment. What's that application process like?
Well, it's actually pretty rigorous. We have a peer review process in which we usually get close to 100 applications for these grants. And we have an initial screen, and then we try to pick the select few that we think have the best science associated with them. And we also want to snowball the effect of the philanthropic dollars that we get. We like to talk about a return on investment. So every time we get a Velosano dollar, we like to be able to, down the road, be able to turn that into further funding, usually federal, but it can be any kind of funding. And we've been able to do that. We've raised a little over $20 million in Velosano money to date, and that has spun off close to $25 million in additional funding, which is something that we're proud of, and part of the reason why this, I think, will be sustaining, because it just keeps snowballing.
So why is this money and this research more important now than ever?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, Maureen, but certainly we're making a lot of progress right now. There's a lot of things going on today that weren't going on a few years ago, from advanced immunological therapies to the more we learn about genomics and how to use genomics in therapies, to understanding actually the link between the two. It turns out that they're not totally separate and segregated. Immunologics can affect how genomic therapies work and vice versa. And there's a lot of really cool stuff going on scientifically here in Northeast Ohio, and it's a pretty big deal that we can make a significant amount of progress now, certainly much more than we were able to a few years ago. And you couple that with the fact that it's very hard to get funding from our normal sources. Federal funding continues to be very tight, and there's a lot of really, really good projects that we're able to fund because of the generosity of the people who participate in Velosano.
And if you can sum it up, what would you want the people tuning in to know about Velosano?
Well, number one, everybody at the Cleveland Clinic really appreciates all you do. The money that you raise is a big deal. You know, we deal with patients with cancer every day down at the Taza Cancer Institute, and we see everybody. I mean, so some people are doing great, and we want more people to do great, but we also see some people who aren't doing so great. And at the end of the day, this is an event that allows us to continue to try to make things better today and tomorrow. And we use all of the money raised to try to do that. And there's a lot of really wonderful people trying to do that, trying to make this disease less lethal today and tomorrow. And that's why we're very proud of the event.
Dr. Bolwell, thank you so much for all of your participation, for everything that you do, and thanks for being with us here tonight at the party.
Thank you very much, Maureen.
All right, Mike, back to you in studio.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. DJ Brad Petty just tearing it up, you guys. He's got the mask on, and I actually think it works. Like, even if there weren't this thing going on, I think that's a cool look for a DJ. I guess I'm alone. That's fine. It's all right. I'm just out here, you guys. There are like 20 people in this studio with me, masked up very safely, not giving me anything. This is very thankless work right now, all right? I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. But hey, you know who's not disappointing me? All the people from all over who are helping out Velosano. That's right. Over the years, Velosano has always had participants doing whatever they can from all over the world and the country, both of those things. But this year's virtual event, obviously, took that to the next level, almost out of necessity. Some people got involved that might not have otherwise been involved. So we're trying to, that's a highlight. That's a good thing about this, right? Good. So we're going to introduce some of these very special people to you. We would like to meet, we'd like for you to meet a few of these folks with us. These are people from coast to coast all around the globe. My first folks up here that we're going to introduce you to, this is the group, I think I'm in her way. Yeah, let's do that. This is Sandy's Domestiques right there. 7-year team, inspired by Sandy Avis, a member of Our Living Hope community, made up of both survivors and those currently going through treatment. Team members from California, Colorado, Michigan, New York, and Ohio make up Sandy's Domestiques. And over time, they've raised over $349,000. That's some nice work right there. Here's another family I'd like you to meet. This is a family and friends team. They are Team 19, another 7-year team inspired by their captain, Paul. After Paul was diagnosed, Team 19 rode in the inaugural event and continues to ride in his memory. They have members from California, D.C., Florida, Minnesota, Missouri, New York, Ohio, that's where we are, and Pennsylvania. So, good for them. Thanks, guys. Here's another team, the Lerner Foundation. You might have heard of them. This is another 7-year team, been in it through thick and thin. Participants from all over Northeast Ohio. Team Lerner Foundation, they have raised over $338,000. Very nice. And we are going to miss, obviously, seeing Mrs. Lerner. From what I understand, this is a tradition. At the start line, Mrs. Lerner cheering everybody on with her cowbell, which I'm learning is the cowbell's a big thing with Velosano. Again, this is my first year. I'm learning as we go, but I love a good cowbell. So yeah, it's unfortunate we don't get to hear that, but I'm sure we're all ringing cowbells in our hearts right now. Can we edit that out? Oh, it's live. Never mind. We'll just keep moving. Now here's another team that I really like. These are a fun team. This is the Big Galoots from Buffalo, New York, which is where, if you're named the Big Galoots, you got to be from Buffalo, obviously. All over the country, these guys are from, though. They gather, and the Galoots are a 7-year team. They've been doing it the whole time. Hey, Galoots. They drive a bus from Buffalo to Cleveland each year. They make a party of it. It's my kind of crew. They each year for the Bike to Cure weekend, and under the guidance of their team captains, Bob and Mindy Rich, they have raised over $1 million in 6 years. That's insane. Great job, guys. Thanks, you big galoots. Special shout out to our Cleveland Clinic caregivers from all over the world. First, just a little bit south, we have Cleveland Akron General. They're growing to a team of now 45 strong. That's a nice turnout. Nice job, guys. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. They've expanded and added some new teams this year. It's exciting. Across the pond, of course, we have our friends from Cleveland Clinic, London. I didn't even know that's great. I didn't know we had one over there. That's awesome. But that's great. They're back for their 2nd year. Welcome, everybody. And this is exciting. Welcome to Cleveland Clinic, Canada. Not just fun to say, because it's so much alliteration in a row. But they are a new team this year. They're from Canada. We love our Canadian neighbors. And it's great that they're joining us. It's great that we have this participation from all over the country and all over the world. Maureen, aren't they all amazing? Don't you love them? Yeah, she's not here yet. We'll talk to her in a bit. Here's what I want to tell you about first. We have one more special group. These are a group of very special ladies that I had a chance to sit down and actually talk with. They're doing something very fun. These are the ladies that took our whole theme of fundraise anyhow. Regardless, we can't ride bikes. Find a way. Find something interesting to do to raise money. And they did. They ran with that idea. So earlier this week, I had a chance to chat with Alicia Hemphill, Aaron McDaniel, Michelle Garrett, and McKenna Glowacki. I nailed it. From Team Velo Stitchers, and they're great. Here they are.
Well, we are very blessed right now to be joined by none other than the Velo Stitchers, which you guys did something very interesting. There were a bunch of different ways that you can contribute to Velosano this year. Would somebody mind telling us, going through what exactly the Velo Stitchers decided to do?
Sure. So I'm usually the captain for Rest Stop 8, so that's one of the Century stops. So with Virtual Velosano this year, I wanted to do something special to honor those riders since I wouldn't be seeing them this year. Cross-stitching is my favorite hobby, so I decided I was going to stitch a century, so 100 hours instead of 100 miles. But I knew I couldn't do it alone.
So you recruited?
Yes.
And so how many Velo Stitchers are there in total now?
I think we've got 16.
Wow. Now, were all of them on board because this was just something that you like to do? Was everybody else, and you were just like, guess what we're all doing, whether you like it or not, because it's my hobby? And was everybody on board with it, or were some people a bit more reluctant? Were they more like, maybe we could, like, I don't know, do like a happy hour instead?
No, so, well, Alicia reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to captain this? Because I have a little YouTube channel and I talk about cross stitch, and there's a few people that watch, and Aaron and McKenna also have channels. So I thought, let's grab a few of us that make YouTube videos and let's just put it out there to our people who hang out with us. And people were like, you are absolutely crazy. 100 hours on one project in 6 weeks. Let's do it.
All right.
So yeah, there really was no arm twisting needed. They just jumped on.
And you guys, that's awesome. And you guys are from all over the place, right? Would everybody just mind, like, first of all, go around and tell me where you're at?
I'm in Phoenix,
Cleveland.
Arizona.
I should have mapped this out better. Trying to think of the best way to do it. Why don't we do it, and go ahead and do it in alphabetical order.
Okay, I'm in Cleveland.
I'm Erin, and I'm in Seattle, Washington.
McKenna, Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Michelle, and I'm in Eugene, Oregon.
Wow, cool. This is neat that it brought you guys together. So what kind of things are you stitching for this?
Something that I did finish. It took me a little over a year on and off with other projects.
Whoa, that's cool.
This is a 16th century Italian helmet.
You don't have to tell me that. I know a 16th century Italian helmet.
Of course, when you see one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
really cool.
and then behind me is all my other previous finishes. So there's different ways people will finish them into pillows, frame them up. So yeah, it's a great hobby. It's not your grandma's stitching.
No, you guys are very talented. That stuff's really that's amazing. Stuff behind you. So some of you are here for personal reasons, though. Does anybody have more of a connection to this? Why you chose this charity? You could be at a bunch of charities doing this kind of work.
So I think, so I work at the Cleveland Clinic. I'm in the Philanthropy Institute. And so I've actually been around since Velosano was started. So I've kind of watched it grow. And I have a huge personal investment in this. My Uncle George had renal cell carcinoma that metastasized to his brain and his spine. No doctor wanted anything to do with him. They were so afraid that he would die on the table. Cleveland Clinic gave him a chance, and he had 5 years more with us because of the Cleveland Clinic and an experimental treatment that they tried.
Wow.
So I am absolutely 100% vested in making sure that Cleveland Clinic can really get some additional research going and, have people see their uncles for a lot longer.
Does anybody else have that's great that's what brought you on board. I mean, it's terrible, obviously, but that's great to show the direct result of your help. It has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
Anybody else have a direct connection they'd like to mention?
Well, I mean, I just think nobody gets away, gets out of this without being touched by cancer somehow. My father was diagnosed with cancer when I was pregnant with my very first daughter. And we were lucky that, he had a type of cancer that had a really great treatment regimen. And so he's still with us 19 years later, but not everybody gets that. And Cleveland Clinic is, really on the front lines of making sure that everybody can have a treatment, like my father did, that is really reliable and can give them extra time.
This is super cool that you guys all found each other, and you guys are all doing this together. Do you prefer, be honest, do you prefer what you're doing to bike riding? Would you rather be doing this than actually doing the physical bike riding? Where when you saw that it wasn't a bike ride this year, were you like, yes, finally our time to shine?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all really great couch potatoes.
Yeah.
So, we don't get a lot of recognition for that. What can cross stitch do for the world?
Right.
No,
you guys.
So, yeah, I definitely would not have been in for a century of bike riding. No.
You guys are getting to use your superpower. That's kind of cool. They went, we're just like, man, we can't ride bikes. What can we do? And you guys are like, we know what we can do.
Yeah.
That is very impressive. And you guys have members, I just want to mention, that I see here: Alaska, Alabama, Arizona, Illinois, Nevada, Ohio, Oregon, South Carolina, Texas, and Washington, as well as Great Britain and Ireland. So you guys all connected through for this cause. Essentially, some of you knew each other before, but you did a call to action, and you now have other people who are doing this all over the world for Velosano.
Yeah, we all knew each other because the three of us and many more of us make YouTube videos about cross stitch. Mm-hmm. So we have this ready-made community. And like McKenna said, the beautiful thing about our community is we all sit and stitch, but we also we want to just help each other. We want to help other people. So when one of us says, hey, I'm raising money for Cleveland Clinic cancer research, you get a multitude of people that are like, how can I help? What can I do? So it's easy. It's ready-made.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for everything you're doing. I hope you guys are coming up with some kind of a logo that you can stitch for each other. It's time, right? That seems like a layup for you guys.
There we go.
It'd be and everybody can have one. I think I'd wear one, just so you know. But just throwing that out there.
Challenge accepted, Mike. We'll send you one.
I would love it. I'd be proud to wear it. Anything else you guys want to say about what this has been like for you to be a part of this or anything? Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
I'm just glad Alicia reached out and had this opportunity. Like, my husband and I just walked through the cancer treatment he was diagnosed with cancer last November and had surgery and 3 rounds of chemo. Luckily, his cancer was imminently treatable. But 20 years ago, the survival rate for his type of cancer was 10%. So we basically owe his life to 2 decades of research. And like McKenna said, if I can do that for other people, I just appreciate Alicia for having this opportunity and giving it to us.
Very cool.
I appreciate you guys jumping on board and making this bigger than I ever dreamed.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for all of your effort you're putting towards this. Thanks for showing everybody a unique way that they can contribute to Velosano. And stitch on, folks. Stitch on.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye now.
Bye.
I love them. They were so great. All right. So if you're a foodie in Cleveland, you are well aware of the Zach Brule restaurants. We're talking Parallax, Alley Cat, L'Albatross, Cowl and Hubbard. And every year, Zach Brule restaurants, they have put on the food for the party, for the virtual party. And it means so much to Zach. Let's hear from him.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chef Restaurateur Zach Brule. For the past 6 years, we at Zach Brule Events have been proud to provide delicious and nourishing meals to all Velosano riders, volunteers, and guests throughout Bike to Cure weekend. Velosano is a special place in my heart because, like many of you, I've unfortunately lost both family and friends to cancer. My team and I want to sincerely thank all of you for being involved and for all the dollars you raise to support cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. And we look forward to being back together in downtown Cleveland, celebrating with you and serving our signature dishes to you once again. Thank you again for all that you do.
That guy cooks it up. He's good. You've been to his restaurants, right?
Yes, those are some of my favorite restaurants. They're fantastic.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I have to give a shout out. Thank you, everybody who, if you're just joining us, who is here for our Velosano Kickoff. I'm Mike Polk. This is Maureen Kyle. And we're doing what we can with what we got. And everybody's been very generous with their time and everything. And we thank you for that. So again, thanks for joining us, including some special groups. Like, there are a bunch of groups involved in this. And somebody hit me up on Twitter and asked for a shout out. This is a group that is participating in this event. They're from the Cleveland Clinic. It is the Make It Rain group. They're from the philanthropy department at the Cleveland Clinic. That is your shout out. I have done what I told you I would do, so don't be mad at me. And thank you very much for all of your effort. Hey, speaking of important and special people, we are able to do this and give 100% of the proceeds from it. It's all made possible by our partners, the people who help us put this charity together, the people who make it all look nice and make everything run smooth. Without them, we would not have the ability to do this. Isn't that right, Maureen?
Yeah, I mean, we are just so grateful for their loyal support. A lot of the partners have been with Velosano with us since day one, and they have not only just helped support, but they've also really, truly believed in the mission to get cancer research into the right hands, and to also hopefully one day just find a cure. And our kickoff event party couldn't happen without them.
That's right. The financial and in-kind backing that Velosano receives from their partners covers operation costs associated with this virtual Velosano, which in turn allows them to allocate every dollar raised by our participants directly to cancer research. And we couldn't do that work without them. We're so grateful to those loyal partners, many of whom have been with us since day one and stuck with us through this year for their continued support and belief in our mission as we navigate unexpected changes, is what we're calling them, which is everything. Everyone's trying to adjust to this. And that is, of course, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Even our kickoff party tonight was made possible by that support. Isn't that right, Maureen?
Yeah, that's right. So our partners give 100%, and we encourage you, when you see the partners on a T-shirt, on a logo, on something, support those partners, because they're also helping for this cause. And Mike, you know that we mentioned it at the top of the show, WKYC, very proud sponsor. we got involved in 2014. That's where I was doing my math at the beginning of this show. But that's when I got involved, and a bunch of our coworkers at WKYC got involved. And that's where we really got introduced to Velosano's mission, and we saw the energy, the hope, just the overall mission that they are trying to achieve here. WKYC wanted to be a part of it, so that's why we hop on board and hop on our bikes every year.
It is spoken about in sacred terms around the building. It means a lot to everybody there, and we're happy to be a part of it. And you know who we're really happy to have here to keep this party going? You know who I'm talking about. It's DJ Brad Petty! Good air horn. Yeah. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Check out this Lexus pace car. Isn't she beautiful? And the good news for all of you is that you can win a Lexus RX 350, just like this one, without the Velosano wrap, of course. Unless you want that, in which case, she's yours. Here's the scoop. Our friends at Metro Lexus and Lexus of Akron Canton are thrilled to announce the Lexus Experience Amazing Fundraiser for Velosano. For as little as $20, you can be entered into a 2-year lease for a brand new 2020 Lexus RX 350. 100% of all raffle ticket purchases will support life-saving cancer research. And the best part? If you know a team participating in Velosano, you can designate that team to receive your donation when you purchase your entry tickets. Isn't that great? Now, for complete details on how to get your entry tickets, visit velosano.org/Lexus. Yes! Celebrate! I've appeared more dignified in the past. But what are you going to do? Actually, when we just shot that beforehand, one of the producers said, "You did bring pants with you, though, right? I mean, that's great, but..." So, sorry, ladies. They made me put pants on. But anyways, that's a great opportunity right there. Get yourself a Lexus. Why not? That'd be fun. Wow, we've got some important people, some great people, some very well-known people. Some huge they're all a huge part, obviously, of Velosano. And from what I'm told, they're actually referred to as the Beatles of Velosano. Doesn't get much more important than that. We're not talking Smash Mouth here, people. These are the Beatles of Velosano. We have with us Stuart, John, and Paul. And of course, I'm talking about the Velosano founder himself, Stuart Cole, and Velosano co-chairs, John Sada and Paul Dolan. Gentlemen, welcome. How you doing?
Doing great, Mike.
Great. Thanks, Mike.
Nice. Y'all look good. I'm glad we're all wearing the same thing. It's not embarrassing because it was planned. If this were to happen accidentally, it would be humiliating. I know. No, you guys know that you're called the Beatles. You guys are familiar with that term, and do you think that's accurate? Do you consider yourselves the Beatles?
I wish I was the Beatles.
No.
Yeah. Wasn't there a George that was a Beatle?
Yeah, we all do.
That might be George.
You would be? You'd be George?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I was just going to offer, you got a couple of these covered. You got your John and your Paul, and then Stuart, and I'm sure you guys know this because you know your stuff. You actually technically still a Beatle. He was the original bassist for the Beatles with Stuart Sutcliffe. So that's a little piece of trivia for you in case you didn't know.
There we go.
But sounds like you're missing a George. My name is Michael George Polk Jr. You guys need a fourth, maybe? Anybody?
Sure.
We're all equally powerful and accomplished men. That's not true, obviously. But anyways, I just want to throw my hat in the ring. Think about it. I'm not going to make you make a decision on a live stream right now. But just everybody think about it and ignore me completely. You guys, we are so fortunate to have you. We couldn't do this without you. And a lot has obviously happened this year. But Velosano remains 100% for the cure. All the money goes towards it because of of people who support this. So to what do you think we owe this success, you guys?
Well, I'll go. Does that make me the first Beatle?
Yeah, that's you.
But I'll go. And Mike, I heard you say at the beginning that you were new to Velosano. So let me explain that 7 years ago, we created a bike event. And events, as you know, they happen or they don't. You have an epidemic and it gets canceled and you forget about it. But what's happened to Velosano over the years, and we've talked about this, we've turned into a movement. And movements don't get canceled. Movements adapt, they change, they adjust. So some might bike, some might cross stitch. I think some could even roller skate.
Barely, but yes, barely, but yes.
But what really happens is we've built a community of people who are 100% dedicated to raising money for cancer. They're 100% dedicated to Velosano, and really they're 100% dedicated to each other. And I think you've already seen and heard that on the show tonight. And not only they've stuck together this year, but they've grown. We've added 43% new people to Velosano this year. I think we're all finding out that in the midst of this awful pandemic, that when you reach out and seek to raise money for cancer, people respond because the message is so powerful and Velosano is so powerful.
That is crazy that in a year like this, you have 43% new people. That's a testament to the whole enterprise. Can you share some other details with us though about how it's going so far, like other things?
Sure. I think Maureen said it up front. We have over 2,800 people have been registered this year. That's the most we've ever had. And as you might expect, we have 173 teams, which is the most number of teams we've had. And every year we're all over the country and all over the world. And this year is no different. 35 states are represented, and then the Washington, D.C., and then, which is a state or not, I'm not sure. And then 6 countries are also represented. Which has led to 9,000 donations so far, and we still have until October 1st.
What I see, everybody has a different thing going on behind them. You do know there's a group of people behind you just milling about, right? Are you aware of that?
Yes, that's the Velosano entourage.
Oh, nice.
They're socially distant, though.
That's good.
Some Beatles have a posse.
I guess. You guys look like a couple of real Ringos right now without an entourage standing right behind you. So you guys all have to be doing your own Velosano activities. I don't know if you're riding bikes or what you're doing, but what are each of you doing for your Velosano activities? Stuart, what are you doing?
Yeah, Mike, I'm going to ride the Emerald Necklace ride through the metro parks, the gem of Cleveland.
Nice. Go ahead, Stuart. Paul, what are you doing?
I'm doing a bucket list thing for myself. I've ridden on the towpath 1 million times, but only between Akron and Cleveland. So tomorrow, my son and I are driving down to someplace in Tuscarawas County, finding the southern terminus of the towpath, and then riding up to Cleveland.
Wow.
I think it's
That's impressive. And John, I understand you've committed to something pretty nuts too. What's your commitment?
I committed to ride 700 miles in 7 weeks for Velosano 7. And last week was my 7th week, and I actually rode 805 miles. So it's amazing what happens when you can work from home. And Paul, sorry, when there's no sports on, there's a lot more free time.
Yeah, and that's how you're using it. That's impressive. That's very wow. That is a far distance. I used to date a girl who went to Notre Dame. I think that's like 350 miles or something like that, somewhere around there. That'd be like riding there and then riding back. That's the only reference level I have. That's a long haul over the course of time, believe me, especially when you're crying the whole way there and back. It was a different time. I don't want to go into that, but that's great. That's very impressive. So that's very cool. And now, from what I understand, we also have the trike and bike thing still going on. Is that right? It moved to the virtual format. But tell us about trike and bike and what that is for some of us who, and I'm not saying I'm one of these people, but in case you don't know what trike and bike is.
Mike, I can talk about that. So Trike and Bike is awesome. In a normal year, Trike and Bike is a community-based ride for kids ages 3 to 12. And 100% of the money that they raise goes to pediatric cancer research at the Cleveland Clinic Children's. Last year, they raised $175,000, which is really, really impressive. Because it's virtual this year, the team has had to come up with some new and interesting ways to keep the kids motivated. And so if you register for Trike and Bike, you will have a kit delivered to your house. In that kit, it has a junior fundraising package. It has decorations for your bike, and it also has a pretty cool t-shirt. And being a small guy like I am, I think I'm going to ask Nicole if I can get one of the t-shirts for myself. There's 6 of them this year, and each one will include a virtual event, just like we're doing now, all based around the community that they're riding in. So if anybody's interested, there's still plenty of time. Go to velosano.org/trike-and-bike. It's a great program.
Nice. All right. I'm learning a whole lot today. That sounds awesome. So this is a great opportunity right now, guys, to keep this Velosano fundraising momentum going through October 1st. And speaking of fundraising, one of the changes that you guys made this year was the removal of fundraising commitments, given obviously the conditions on the ground. How has that impacted the actual dollars that you guys have received so far in 2020 for this important charity? Stuart?
Yeah, Mike, with the help of great partners like WKYC, like the work of you and Maureen and others, we've raised over $1.6 million already this year. But by this time last year, we had been raised just over $3 million on our way to $4.5 million in total. So we've got a ways to go, and we need everybody to be pulling together between now and October so we can hit our targets.
I noticed that one piece of advice that you've sort of keep mentioning and bringing up is to just make the ask. What does it mean when you say just make the ask?
So I actually learned that this year. I was very hesitant about fundraising because there is no ride. And it just made me nervous to go out and ask donors. I finally did, and I sent an email to all the donors that have given to me in the past. And literally within 5 minutes, I started to get donations. And I'm now at close to $30,000 that I've raised through that. What I learned, and I probably should have known, is that really donors are not giving to the ride itself. They're giving to the cause. I don't think that they really care that a bunch of us get together and wear spandex and funny looking shirts and line up on a Saturday morning to ride. I think that they care about the mission. They care about what Velosano is doing for cancer. They care about their friends and their family that have been touched by cancer. And that's really what they're giving to. They're not giving to the actual ride. And so I guess a message for anybody out there that's like me and has been hesitant to ask for donations, just ask. And I think you'll be really surprised at how generous people are and how successful you can be at raising money.
That's great. That's actually, I think we can all use something inspiring to hear right about now, and the fact that people are less about the bike ride, more about the charity, and that we're proving that this year. We have the opportunity to, under whatever conditions, wherever it happened, to prove that this year. That's something to keep us going, and that's good to hear. So each of you have obviously, we've all been touched by, in one way or another, by cancer, and each of you have your own story, I'd imagine. Stuart, can you share your thoughts? What's important about Velosano to you?
Yeah, Mike, you referenced the altered conditions that are shutting down so much of the world, but it's obviously not shutting down Velosano. Our mission is simply too important. Cancer is not taking a break for this virus, and 600,000 Americans will lose their lives to cancer this year alone. Mothers and fathers and husbands and wives, brothers and sisters, our friends and our co-workers. And each of those is its own tragedy. You referred to being touched by cancer, which is the euphemism we use, but nobody's touched by cancer. We're clobbered by cancer. And this was really brought home to me when my brother passed away 2.5 months ago from glioblastoma, a particularly cruel form of brain cancer. So Velosano and fighting cancer are very personal to me. And I believe they are to every member of what Paul correctly referred to as the Velosano movement. When we launched Velosano 7 years ago, it was a bet that Cleveland would rise up and deliver. And boy, we did. And I still believe in what we can accomplish together. And Virtual Velosano is going to be an important step in that journey.
Thank you, Stuart. And I'm sorry about your loss. As Stuart just said, we are on a very important journey together. Everybody has a unique experience about how cancer has impacted their lives. I'll just, I feel the need to mention this. My father actually had cancer, and he had a very rare kind called Merkel cell. And the Cleveland Clinic definitely saved his life. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in his mind. No doubt in anybody in my family's mind. So, Mike. All right, so it touches all of us in different ways. We all get involved in it for different reasons, but we're all trying to do what we can right now in this weird year, and remember how important this is to try and make as much progress as we can, as quickly as we can. Okay, one thing that we've done every year is the Bike to a Cure weekend and the Why I Ride wall, from what I understand. This is a thing that was just introduced to me that's really neat. I want to say thanks again to you guys for joining us. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. It's going to be
All right. Well, Mike, thank you so much for sharing that. And, you know, that's what the Why I Ride wall is so important, is that there are so many people like you, like Stuart, that are sharing who they are riding for, who they are remembering. And you mentioned the Why I Ride wall. Let's take a look at what exactly that is.
A cornerstone of Bike to Cure weekend has been the Velosano Why I Ride wall, where people have the chance to leave their thoughts of love, pride, encouragement, and gratitude to special people they know who have battled cancer. Even though Velosano has gone virtual this year, the wall experience lives on. We invite you to share why you get involved in Velosano on the Virtual Velosano dedication wall. What is motivating you to bike, run, swim, walk, hike, row, or spin? Who inspires you to support life-saving cancer research? Share your thoughts by posting a personal message, photo, or video, and come back to view the wall as often as you like. The Virtual Velosano dedication wall can be found at velosano.org.
So when you're visiting the Why I Ride wall and the Virtual Velosano wall, you're going to notice two very special people that are being dedicated, have a dedication to them this year. There's Matt Gleason. Look for his name. He battled for himself and for others by raising money on Team Wheels of Steel. And Lynn Hubach, who graciously volunteered her time at Velosano events. We lost them this year, and they will always be with us. They will always be remembered as bright lights for the Velosano community. And those are the messages that you're going to see when you visit the virtual wall. You're going to see messages of remembrance of those that we've lost. You're going to see words of encouragement for those who are living hope, who are battling cancer right now. And whatever your personal message may be, whether it's for a family member, a friend, a loved one, it's a simple and very thoughtful way to show that we are in this quest together. Now, typically, we would be on this Friday evening, the night before the Velosano ride, we would be at the Velosano Kickoff Party live in Mall B all together. That's not possible, but we do love that place downtown. It means so much to us. It's where we share meaningful moments with those who are in this fight together and creating this mission together. So the event, of course, it will be missed, but take a look at how it's being honored this year. If you were with us right at the start of this virtual kickoff party, you saw my interview with Dr. Brian Bolwell. he really hit it home that cancer doesn't stop for COVID-19. And he talked about the research and what the money goes toward. Every year, the Cleveland Clinic researchers are really just humbled by the generosity of all of you riders, all of those of you that donate to a rider, the virtual fundraisers, the volunteers, all the people who are out there making sure that this event runs smoothly. And it's because we're all in a collective goal of a cancer-free world. The funds raised through Velosano this past year have already made it into the hands of researchers. So let's hear firsthand about what your support helps Velosano do.
Every dollar, every penny that comes in is going directly into cancer research. It provides vital resources for cutting-edge cancer research that's being done here in the city of Cleveland.
Those funds allow us to do the groundbreaking, outside-the-box cancer research that we need to do to stop this terrible disease.
I'm so grateful for Velosano and the funding they provided, which is allowing us to open a clinical trial to help kids with cancer.
To date, over $21 million has been raised, and those $21 million has actually generated an additional $22 million. And I can speak from the work in our own lab. So the first year we received a $75,000 grant from Velosano. We were able to conduct the absolutely critical key experiments to prove that the project had feasibility, it had legs, that we could actually do what we said we were going to do. And once we got that critical amount of data, we were able to compete successfully for larger foundation as well as government grants. So the money that you're raising today has a potential to turn into a lot more tomorrow. So if you think about it, there are a diverse set of projects, different tumor types, different strategies, but they're all centrally focused around the idea of changing cancer care, not only today, but well into the future. And this was all made possible by your contributions.
Because of Velosano, my research will move from science fiction to reality and help us discover the cause of colon cancer.
Thanks to all of your efforts and for the money you have raised for Velosano, we can make bone marrow transplants and cell therapies more safer for more patients, and that will lead to more cures.
We will be studying liver cancer,
lung cancer, ovarian cancers.
Your support and your dollars are helping us figure out how prostate cancer works, what makes it tick, so we can figure out how to cure it.
On behalf of scientists, researchers, physicians, and the cancer research community, I wanted to wholeheartedly thank you. You're making a big difference today and well into the future.
I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for raising money for cancer research at Cleveland Clinic.
Thank you for the funding, Velosano.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this support.
Thank you, Velosano.
My team and I are very appreciative of all of your efforts.
Velosano funding is more important now than ever. We may not be biking down the road together this year. Thanks to you and thanks to Velosano, we're moving further down the road towards a cure for cancer. Thank you so much for your support.
That's cool. Those are, do we all get those cowbells? I want one of those. Can I get one before I leave? Did I lose my rights to the cowbell? We'll discuss it afterwards. We have a very special guest with us right now. Please welcome from a member of Team KeyBank. We have Chris Peer. He is a cancer survivor himself. Welcome, Mr. Peer. How you doing, sir?
Good, Mike. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm all right. I do feel like I should probably address this. I don't know if you've been watching, but I just kind of blew up this whole live thing just a couple minutes ago. Let me just lay it through, and I'm sorry you're here for this, Chris. I know we haven't even met, and this is an odd way for us to engage for the first time ever, but just to lay it out, what I did was I started bawling because I talked about my dad's cancer, which I'm sure he loved, by the way. I know he's watching this. He's like, I did that to him. Ha ha! That's my dad. And then once I did that, I creeped out. I didn't creep him out, but I just made everybody like in the studio like, uh-oh, can we talk to him? And then I took Maureen Kyle, my co-host's lines from her. I just read them off the thing like a moron. And I didn't even remember to say goodbye and thank you to all those important guys. So I apologize for all of that. Not for what I am, not for emoting like a human being. I think I might have even bummed out DJ Brad Petty. He hasn't played anything fun since, but that happened. And now we're just going to go ahead and plow ahead. How's that sound, Chris?
Sounds great.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Chris. Nice to meet you, man. So you're a member of Living Hope Community, but your involvement in Velosano started well before your diagnosis. Tell us about your journey, starting as a Velosano rider to where you are now.
Yeah, so I got involved in Velosano. I want to say it was Velosano 1 or 2. And it was just a great cause. I was on the Jones Day team, I believe, and did the 200-mile ride. And it was just a great community, a great group of people, and really enjoyed it. And then been a part of it ever since.
So from what I understand, before they decided to make this an actual virtual thing, you were planning, and I just want to make sure I had this right, you were planning to complete a 2-day ride and a half an Ironman thing?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of happy it didn't happen.
I'd imagine.
I was supposed to do the 2-day, the 200-mile this weekend, and then the Ohio half Ironman next weekend.
So what were you actually, though, you've done this before, what were you looking forward to the most about taking part in the 190-mile ride this year?
I think it's just the camaraderie and the team, raising money for cancer, just the community. It's such a great event every year. Going down and doing the kickoff party on Friday nights, getting up in the morning and just being part of that team. It's just a great feeling, and it's great to be able to raise money and give back. So I love it. It's fantastic.
Well, honestly, it's so cool. We're honestly so glad you're healthy. That's such a cool thing, and that you were doing this beforehand, and it sort of directly affected you. I mean, and then here you are now feeling good. And I understand that because of the kind of research that they're able to fund, because of things like Velosano, fundraisers like Velosano, you did not need radiation or chemo to treat your cancer. Is that right?
Yeah, I was extremely lucky. So I had esophageal cancer, and it's got a pretty high mortality rate. But I caught it really early thanks to the science today, and thanks to being on a watch list. And so I was getting tested regularly, and last year I ended up being diagnosed with it, but I caught it so early that they were able to treat it pretty easily. I'm just extremely lucky. And thanks to Dr. Siddiqui and the Cleveland Clinic, these technologies weren't available, 5 or 10 years ago, and I would have had a much different treatment, but I'm very lucky.
Chris, thank you so much for your support. We're so happy you're feeling healthy. Sorry again about my emotional tirade, and thank you for your patience during that. Happy for you, man, and hopefully we'll all be riding together next year. So thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Take care.
So coming up next, here's what we got now for you. It's a special message from a 7-time. Boy, the 7-timers are real proud of it, aren't they? They got a little bit of an arrogance about them. They're just like, 7 times. Just so you know, 5 times? Not bad, but 7. Even Maureen's like, only 4 because I had some kids or whatever. But regardless, 7-time Velosano rider and Cleveland Clinic Chief Caregiver Officer. Please welcome Dr. Kelly Hancock. Here she is.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Hancock, Chief Caregiver Officer at Cleveland Clinic and Captain of the Nursing Institute Velosano team. In my new role, I have the pleasure of leading the development and implementation of all aspects of our caregivers' engagement with a focus on enhancing our unique team-based culture. Our focus is to provide superior patient care and to make Cleveland Clinic the best place to work in healthcare. It goes without saying that these past few months have been unprecedented. We are grateful for the response from the communities we serve here in Northeast Ohio, across the country, and around the world. The overwhelming outpouring of support that you have shown to those working on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic has been amazing, and it means so much to each and every one of our caregivers, their families, and their loved ones. We at Cleveland Clinic are extremely proud of our caregivers who have led and continue to lead us through this time. In honor of their unwavering commitment to put our patients first, we are pleased to showcase a special logo on this year's Velosano apparel. Both the commemorative jersey and t-shirt being received by all who are registered feature a Thank You Healthcare Heroes message. Like the yard signs we see posted throughout our communities, It will be heartwarming to see the Velosano jerseys and tees carry the message of thanks as well. Our caregivers inspire us, and we are honored to recognize all that they do. Cleveland Clinic's commitment to our patients carries through to our commitment to Velosano. We are proud to have over 30 Cleveland Clinic teams this year and are humbled to be participating alongside all of the other dedicated teams and individuals that make up this cancer fighting initiative. Thank you for being 100% for the cure.
And there are so many teams and individuals and pairs that have a connection in many different ways. We're talking family members, friends, coworkers. Next, I want to introduce you to John Paul Shalhoub and Dr. Lucas Nystrom. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. And John Paul, I wanted to let the audience know you are a member of our Living Hope community, and you were at the U.S. Naval Academy when you received your cancer diagnosis. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I'm from Cleveland originally, homegrown, St. Ignatius grad. Played for your father, I think, by the way, football.
Oh wow! All right, well, yay! All right, it's a mafia, yes.
Yeah. But I was fortunate enough to get an appointment to the academy, and in my first year there, got the diagnosis. Just I actually was very fortunate the way it worked out, just by the amount of running that we were doing during all our fitness training. Just was feeling a lot of pain in my leg, and it was getting checked out by my training staff and all the medical staff there, and they caught it and got diagnosed up in Boston at Mass General for Ewing sarcoma, and then got sent back home to get treatment through the clinic. But it was a really interesting time in my life, just where I was at the academy and my college career, and but really fortunate the way it kind of played out, because I think had I been at a civilian college or regular college, not really being that active, that physical, I wouldn't have been able to have caught it as early, because I wouldn't have been feeling that pain in my leg. So, but just really thankful to everybody there, and everybody that helped me kind of along the way and getting treated.
Yeah, and we always talk about when working on Channel 3, the fact that we have such a great hospital system here. What was that like for you at Cleveland Clinic and your treatment, and how do you think Velosano helped with all of that?
So, well, everybody at the clinic was really helpful just in keeping my spirits up, just because, like I said, I mean, there's never a convenient time for anybody to get diagnosed with something like cancer, but the point I was at in my life of being at the academy, it was kind of like I was ready to take off and got grounded. And the people at the clinic were able to kind of keep my spirits up emotionally, to support me, and really thankful for all of them as well. And last summer, last June, they recommended me joining Velosano. I think specifically Diana Swinehart, she was my child life coordinator. Her and like the rest of the staff suggested I join like about 2 weeks before. I had never heard of Velosano prior, and they thought that I'd be fit to do it. So they suggested I sign up for it, and I did. And I'm really thankful for them suggesting it and being able to join the Velosano community, and hopefully be able to give back to them and the Velosano community down the road.
And you both you hopped right into it with 50 miles last year.
Yeah. Dr. Nystrom, we rode together for like the first half, and then he dusted me the rest of the way. I had to take a little bit of a break, but yeah, we both kind of came in on short notice and rode it. But yeah, I want to try to do a bigger ride next year. But yeah, I'm glad that I did the 50 mile. My legs were really feeling it though afterwards. I was not in good shape.
Dr. Nystrom, what was it like to be able to ride together?
Well, I mean, that was just an incredible experience. It was my first Velosano as well. And so it was extremely inspirational just to be a part of an event like that. where you see all of the Living Hope riders and everybody in the community who came together to contribute to that cause and that event. That itself just blew my mind. But to do it with John Paul and to see a guy who, we were in the trenches together, so to speak, treating that cancer, just a year before, to see him, a year and a half after his surgery, a year after his chemotherapy, to see him do something like that and experience it with him was incredible.
And Dr. Nystrom, you're one of the ones, like you said, you're in the trenches. You are one of the people who benefits from the research. And then when you have to go into a patient and give a diagnosis and treatment, how is that when you see Velosano raising money to help you give a better diagnosis and provide better treatment? What does that mean to you?
Well, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. And, all of us, I think in the medical profession, we have an opportunity to experience multiple institutions and how things are at different places, and to see the infrastructure here for that support and for that research and how that can impact clinical care. It's unlike anything I've ever seen at any other place. So I feel extremely fortunate.
Yeah. Well, you both are very fortunate, and hopefully next year you get to ride again together. But it's so great to get you together here on the virtual kickoff party. Thanks so much for sharing your stories.
Thank you. Go Cats.
Go Cats. We'll cross our fingers for football this year. We don't know if that's happening either.
Yeah,
I'll tell my dad I talked to you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So earlier this week, all of these stories that we've been telling you, they all make up the fabric that becomes Velosano in the community. And earlier this week, the executive director of Velosano, Nicole Peters, had the chance to chat with Dr. John George from Team Cleveland Clinic Sleep Cycles. Take a look.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Peters, the executive director for Velosano, and I'm excited to be here tonight with you and to welcome our guest, Dr. John George.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Dr. George.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So glad I could be a part of this process.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us for the live stream kickoff party for Virtual Velosano. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
So we're excited to have you because you've participated as a rider for many years. And what motivated you to get involved and be a part of Velosano?
So I've always been an avid cyclist. I wouldn't call myself a pro by any means, but I love bike riding. And I broke road a lot even before I knew what Velosano was about and was for. But it was after learning all that we do and all that goes into the process of raising funds for cancer that I wanted to be a part of that whole process. And so why not be able to do something that I love and enjoy, which is cycling, and pair that with something that's definitely worthwhile, a worthwhile cause.
That's really amazing, and we're very happy that you've been a part of it for so long. And I think that's the other exciting thing about your story and your involvement, in that you started in your first year with our 25-mile fun ride. And then the next year, you just decided to jump up and do the 2-day ultimate challenge, which is almost 200 miles over 2 days. No big deal. So can you tell us a little bit about how you evolved from one distance to the other?
Well, in one word, training. The first year I actually rode with my wife and family. And it was just a time for me to kind of get to know all that was involved. But as I went through that first year and saw all that we do with Velosano and the camaraderie and the team atmosphere, I actually wanted to do more the next year. So fortunately, I had to ditch my wife, if I can use that term. She is not someone who wants to ride nearly as long as what we do in the 2-day, but she still is there to root me on. And I actually ended up joining the anesthesia team that I've been riding with for the past couple of years. And I'd heard about the wonderful experiences that people have in that overnight process of doing a 2-day ride. I wanted to be a part of it, and I did it, And it turned out to be a really wonderful, worthwhile experience. It's a small group of people that actually end up doing the 2-day ride, which makes it a little more intimate. And so you get a chance to know people, you get a chance to struggle with people and ride with people. And by the second day, it's like one big group of friends that are coming back, all in support of one goal, which is raising money for a great cause like cancer.
And I know we're all going to be missing all of Bike to Cure weekend this year, but definitely that 2-day ride is very special to that group of people. So I know everybody's missing it. And now, what are you planning for this year for your Virtual Velosano experience?
So this year, I thought it would be a good time to kind of reincorporate my family back into what I do. And so I signed up for the 50-mile ride this year. And I've been doing a lot of 50-mile rides prior to this coming weekend, but I actually thought that why not make this a time where I can kind of get my wife and my kids back into the swing of things with Velosano as well. So my challenge to her and our family was for us to do 25 miles together and for me to ride at least 25 miles prior to us riding out together. So that's my goal. My plan on Saturday is to get up early, do at least 25 miles myself, and then grab the family and go out for a family ride, kind of like a cool down ride.
Sure.
But with my family.
Wow, that'll be very special. That's great.
Will be.
Yeah. So for those who haven't yet experienced Bike to Cure weekend, what would you like to share with them? I think we have a lot of people that are joining us for Virtual Velosano that this is their first time being a part of this. And, you know, we're really excited and hope that a lot of people continue with us and maybe do join us, you know, when we're back with the traditional ride and then obviously maintaining some of the virtual aspects of it too. But is there anything you'd like to share with them about, you know, what makes Velosano so special?
So, you know, I'd actually had done a couple other similar rides before doing Velosano. And for me, the thing that made Velosano so special and worth coming back to year after year are the people. I think we, or the clinic and Velosano, do a really good job of making it feel like a family event. And that's from the time that things are leading up to the kickoff day. At the kickoff day, you get a chance to meet and talk with and network with tons of people who were there sharing the same goals, hearing their stories, the stories of their friends, the stories of their families. All those things, for me at least, provided a great avenue to be able to feel like I was a part of something bigger than myself. Not that some of those other rides weren't that way, but I think Velosano does a good job of making it feel like we are in this together and we as a group can make a difference in the world.
Yes. That is beautifully put. And
one last thing.
Oh, yes, please.
Just as an encouragement for those who are coming out for the first year or considering possibly coming out next year, I would say do it. Don't hold back. I think you can always do more than you think you can do. And so if you're going for that 25-mile ride, why not try the 50 or the 100 or even the 2-day? You'll have my support. And we can toast to a long ride after day one and then do it again on day two. Please keep in mind, at least that from my standpoint, that this year is different than all the other years. I mean, if you're on the fence, just come back next year and I'm sure you won't be disappointed.
We couldn't have said it better ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy. Happy riding, everybody.
And he did say it best. We are all in this together, and everybody has that feeling. And one of our favorite teams happens to be a family affair. We love it when the whole entire family gets involved in some way, shape, or form. And this year, we are talking to Betsy, Rich, and Katie Stovsky. Welcome, guys.
Glad to be here.
Now, you guys are 100% in. You're a part of that 7-year club that Mike Polk was talking about. Not only do you keep riding, you get the whole family involved. You are always one of the top fundraisers. What are your secrets?
I don't think that there is a secret to fundraising. I think that you just have to be unafraid to ask people. The people in the Cleveland community are exceptionally generous, especially when it comes to such an amazing cause. And in years past, pre-coronavirus craziness, we've actually reached out to Groove Ride, one of the fitness studios on the east side, and they're so generous. They donate the proceeds from one of the classes that their fitness instructor, Sam Friedman, runs for family and friends. And it's been really easy, actually, to raise funds for Velosano.
That's great. So as Stuart mentioned earlier, you just ask.
Yeah. And we guilt our friends into giving, and we promise that we'll give to their causes in return.
Yeah, the ask, you have to do it. So tell us, what are you going to do because you don't have to hop on the bike. Are you going to still do a bike ride, or are you going to do something different for this virtual Velosano?
So for this year, one of the best parts about Velosano for our family is that it is a family affair. We have uncles and aunts. My brother rides. This year, actually, cousins' kids, Sari and Ezra, are riding in the bike and trike. And so for us, we wanted to do something together. Again, my mom and I normally ride the 25-mile together. So tomorrow, we're going to go on a hike in the Cleveland Metro Parks with our dogs and just get active for Velosano.
Tomorrow I'm doing 62 miles, a metric century, with Brent Ballard, Tim Dixon, Candace Schreiber, and a whole group of people. And we'll be socially distanced, of course. And we'll make a day of it.
Well, good. Well, tell Brent I said hello. He's a good friend. We've heard a lot of reasons about why people are doing this. Why are you doing this every year as a family?
So I think first and foremost, it's an amazing cause, and we ride, our family rides first in memory of our grandma Alice, his dad, or his mom, who passed away many years ago from pancreatic cancer. And then we also have a ton, unfortunately, of family and friends who are continuing to fight their battles against cancer, or one of our uncles just finished his chemo treatments down in Florida, so he is hopefully finishing his battle and winning it. But we just do have a lot of family and friends that we ride in honor of.
Right. We have friends who are battling it today, both in Cleveland and in Florida, as Katie said, with the Cleveland Clinic supporting them all the way, by the way. And it's just a wonderful event, and we love doing it. And we would never let Candace down.
This year is a little different, but there are blessings in this year with what you're saying, with people being able to ride from other states. Is there anything that you see this year that is a little bit different, but you're thinking, wow, this is a really great thing?
I think, to your point, the best part is that people can really feel as involved in Velosano as if they were in Cleveland, because it is virtual. And so whatever you decide to do this year is your Velosano event, and it doesn't mean that you have to be in Cleveland. So I think that is the most unique part. Like, you actually are a part of the Velosano event instead of supporting it from a distance if you couldn't come in previously for Velosano weekend.
Well, Stavsky family, you are an inspiration to all families all across Northeast Ohio, and now every state in the country that wants to get involved. Thanks so much for taking the time, and it's so great to have you as part of the kickoff party.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Glad to be here.
Have a lot of fun with it. Thanks, guys. All right, Mike, back to you in the studio.
I hate that DJ Brad Petty's just like warming up big time right now, and we're getting closer to the end of the show. It's disappointing. I can only imagine how hot it would be if this were 7 more hours long. But killing it, DJ Brad Petty. Thank you. They're still acting like I'm not here. I don't blame you, guys. I know it's a weird day for all of us. So that was a great family. Obviously, very cool family. And we have a lot of people like that who are so supportive that we want to give a little special thanks to for being a part of things, including this group. This is our Big Wheeler gang, by the way. We've got a bunch of big wheelers, first of all. I should let you know. We acknowledge right now the hard work, all year long they acknowledge this, really, of all of our top fundraisers. It's a group they call the Big Wheelers, and this is them. This is a bunch of big wheelers right here. Now what that means is, first of all, I should show you the picture of them, by the way. Earlier this week, see, this is a tradition they do. The Big Wheelers, they get together and they take a picture. This is a tradition normally, obviously, together. Not able to do it, but we're making do. And they look great. Look at all of them right there. Big Wheelers are riders who at least double their fundraising goal, or virtual fundraisers, raising at least $1,000. So these are they're aptly named. They're the Big Wheelers. Together, this group of 134 riders and virtual fundraisers, they've collectively raised over $613,000 so far this year. And this script is like 2 hours long. It's probably well over that by now, I'd imagine, with that kind of moxie. This year especially, obviously, with many socioeconomic challenges, a lot of significant asks in our communities, so many things that you need to dedicate your charity work to and your charity money to and whatnot. So it's so important and so cool that people were able to come through at that level, at this level, this year. So thank you guys so much for all the support that you've given to this cause. We encourage you to take a look at our top fundraisers. You can check it out yourself at velosano.org. Give them some kudos. They've earned them. We're truly grateful for that group, giving more than 100% for the cure. Not statistically possible, it's a metaphor. Okay. Okay, next group that we want to give a little bit of love to. This is our Living Hope community. They are made up of riders. They're made up of virtual fundraisers and volunteers who are current cancer patients or who have previously been treated and represent the progress being made in cancer research. Every year we recognize and celebrate Living Hope, and here they are now. There they are. Look at them. Earlier this week we got them together, did a Zoom with all of them for our Living Hope group photo. This year we recognized 143 registered Living Hope participants with a special Living Hope jersey or hat. Very noticeable, very cool. So if you see one of those folks wandering about town, please give them a little bit of extra cowbell for love. That reminds me, good news, bad news, everyone. They found me a cowbell. I will cowbell this place into fun after this if it kills me. All right, so great group. Obviously, this group gives inspiration to support our mission to provide Cleveland Clinic doctors and researchers with the necessary resources to discover cures and better treatment options for cancer. Together, we are Velosano. So yeah, great groups, fun, important groups. And I wanted to bring Maureen back in, I believe. Do I want to talk to her, I think? Yeah, I do. I'd like to see her. Oh, there she is. Hi, Maureen. How are you?
Hey.
Can you believe?
It's been so fun.
Can you believe that we're already at the end of this amazing show and this amazing night?
You know, honestly, you could go on and talk forever about all of the stories, all of the people who are involved, why they're involved. Mike, you're the one who was the newbie. I mean, what do you think? Now that you've gone through this and you had that emotional moment and we had a breakthrough with you.
So yeah, I'm glad. So you saw me lose my stuff, and that happens. Yeah, no, it was important. That was pretty emotional, and you know, my dad's still doing well, still kicking, still ornery as hell, and it is directly thanks to Cleveland Clinic and places like this that help the Cleveland Clinic do what they need to do to try and keep our families healthy. So it was, yeah, it was, and think about this. That was only, I reacted that way after only a half of a Mick Ultra. That's, normally that takes like a bottle of Powers or Jameson or something like that. But, so that happened, and yeah, so thanks for your patience.
Is young,
and I'm sorry I took your lines on that. I was kind of off the rails. No, you did fine.
Okay.
You covered me because
you
you're a
felt
professional.
You're going with it.
You're a professional.
It still counts as your hours toward Velosano.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you all for being a part of the Virtual Velosano. I deserve this, actually. I'm going to bring it now. Thank you all for being a part of the Virtual Velosano live stream kickoff party. But Virtual Velosano does not stop now. Let's keep that momentum going this weekend. You saw that I cried in front of the owner of the Indians, and it wasn't even Indians related. Yeah, you saw that.
I know. He's
all right,
going to
never
remember
mind.
that, too.
As I was saying, Virtual Velosano doesn't stop now. Goes until October 1st. There's still time to give and help out. And if you're out and about tomorrow, if you are doing your Velosano thing, wear your gear, right? We got this sweet gear now.
Finally, we're going to wear it every day.
Yep, we'll be at the station. They'll be like, nice. We know, guys, you participated. So, yeah, but I'm going to wear this a lot. It's great because I can just wear it, but I don't really have to ride a bike. So it's good.
We're going to keep you on the bike.
All right,
so
I do. Yeah,
we'll
I probably do need that. And if you are out and about and people are wearing your stuff and everything, you take pictures of each other tomorrow, remember to do the hashtag Virtual Velosano so that people will know we can find it and we can feature you on Velosano stuff, right?
Yeah. And something really easy to do too, if you see somebody who's wearing the jersey, you see somebody post, hey, please support my cause here. I'm doing whatever they are doing to raise money for Velosano. It's so simple to donate. And when you think of, I talked to Scott Mowry, one of the participants, he put it best this way. He said, you got to think of it as like a pile of rocks, and every little pebble builds the mountain. And so whether it's, $5, $10, $50, $100, whatever you can give, it really does add up, and it really does help go toward the goal. And as we've been mentioning, over $21 million raised so far, and that's all stayed right here in our hospital system, the Cleveland Clinic, and has most likely helped somebody that you love and somebody that you care about.
Well put. And so we thank a lot of people, and we say it again, thank you so much. I know if we didn't thank you individually, just know that we still really do appreciate it. But everybody who participated, everybody who made this happen, everybody who's continuing to make this amazing charity keep getting stronger and better every single year. I want to thank Mick Ultra. And that reminds me, I feel like we should do a toast to end things, don't you?
We
did
should.
one to start.
I have my glass of water that's at the end
Oh,
here, but
wow.
I'll still toast it.
Yeah, that's good. All right. We'll superimpose Mick Ultra on that in post, right? We can do that? Good. We're on it. So this is a toast to you, folks, to our 2,800 participants, all of our donors, all of our partners. Cheers, and thanks so much to you, Maureen, Kyle, for being with me. I appreciate it. And
you're a good sport, Mike Polk.
Thanks. That's one way of putting it. Thank you all, seriously, and just a reminder, do remain 100% in for the cure. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
DJ,
everyone.
take it.
Together, more determined, more committed, more hopeful, more impactful, more proud. Together, we are Velosano. This year, we may be physically distanced, but Virtual Velosano brings us together in spirit to make an altogether greater difference in the fight against cancer. Bike, spin, hike, run, walk, swim, garden, dance, yoga. This year, we each make our own finish line and set our own goals. This year, we unite as a world, making our best moves against cancer, virtually anytime, anywhere. And as always, 100% of every dollar we raise supports life-saving cancer research at Cleveland Clinic, at a time when the need for cancer research is more important than ever. How do you Virtual Velosano?
Esta rumba sabrosa, ay, te lo bailo bien, te lo bailo gozando, te lo gozo bailando, ay mi gente disfrute, que esto se siente bien.